Hello, my lovely viewers. It's no longer news that Frank Teaches DevOps is now transitioning into DevSecOps. Quick one. So, guys, assuming in a settings where you have a Linux server, and on the Linux server you have 1,000 users. Remember, Linux is a multi-user operating system. Yeah, you have 1,000 users, and you have a critical file, a critical financial file, and over the time you've noticed that the figures in this file is being tampered with. The figures in the file are being tampered with. Maybe you have 20,000. Before you know, you're saying 200,000. You have 200,000. Before you know, you're saying 2 million. But what can you do? You can do nothing because there's no proper auditing in place. There's no proper auditing. You can't monitor what's happening. That is where Frank Teaches DevOps is coming into the picture, man. Frank Teaches DevOps is getting you covered because we have auditing stack in place that will monitor every file changes. That's going to monitor whenever a file is modified. That's going to monitor anybody that does anything in your Linux file system. That I'm going to show us within few seconds. Are we ready? Are we ready? Come, let's go. Let me show us. All right, guys. So, like I rightly mentioned, so we will be showing us briefly how to audit Linux services, right? How to set up auditing services on a Linux server. So quickly, so we'll see how to configure auditing services with auditd, right? With auditd. So without further ado, so what I will be doing is, let me just give us an illustration. Now, assuming now, I have in my Linux machine, I have a finance.csv file. It's very important file. So in this file, it is about figures, numbers. It's about figures and numbers. So now, I have multiple users. I have 1,000 plus users in my Linux environment. And I have noticed that people keep tampering users. I don't know who they are. They keep tampering with this file and modifying the figures. They keep modifying the figures. I don't know who they are. But now I have called an expert auditing services, all right, to come and audit my entire Linux system to check, guy, who is that person? Who is that user trying to finger these figures, all right? For that, we would be setting up an auditing services. So let's hop to my Linux machine. Just 1 second. Okay, all right, guys. So this is my Linux server. So let's connect. Let's connect to this guy. Connect quickly. Come to my terminal. Paste it and let's go. Right. So great. So now this is my Linux machine, right? And on this machine, I have a file. But before I go into that file, let me show something that makes some sense. So now sudo into as a root. Okay, now we need to install an auditing service, all right? And the package for that is called auditd, right? I am on a Red Hat kind of flavor, which is Amazon Linux, okay? So I will just say yum install audit. Okay, it's telling me that audit is already installed and it's available. All right, now let's check another package, audit-libs. Let's see. Audit-libs is already installed. Now let me install everything concerning audits. All right. So if there are ever anything left, it's going to install. The beauty of audit is that audit comes pre-installed with your Linux server, with your Linux operating system. So if you don't see audit, then you have to install it. So now that we have audit, all right, let's tell us something now. Audit configuration file is under etc audits. Let me just change directory. cd etc audits, then rules.d. Let me clear the screen. Rules.d, yeah, and audit.rules. I shall talk about this file later on. So this audit.rules, this is the file that you can permanently define your auditing rules. This is the file. Now, audit creates a log on, let's check the log location, var log audit. Now, in this location, look at where I am now, var log audit, we have a file called audit.log. So if I open this file, it just tell me that just normal random things, okay? Doesn't make sense. Type, config change, service that is just trying to pull up one or two changes that were made by default, by the root user. So let's go out of here. Now let's start something that makes sense. Now I have this file etc pass.wd, and I have this file etc etc pass.wd, and I have this file etc shadow, right? Now the etc pass.wd file is a file that controls users. Whenever you add a user on a Linux machine, all right, it's going to update that file that a user was added, right? The user will be added into that file. Now, when you change the password of any user, the password goes into what? The shadow file. Okay, great. Now, I want to monitor this file. I want to use the feature of system auditing to monitor this file, to check this file whenever there is any modification or there's a write on that file. So let's check. Now, I'll be using audit.ctl. So audit 2 comes with a utility called auditctl. This auditctl is used to manipulate and set up auditing in your Linux file system. So here's the syntax. So I'll say audit, then watch. I'm giving you the syntax first. Let's start with the syntax. So it has to be auditctl, then watch. Now, what are you watching? I'm watching a particular file. Let's say I'm watching this file name to watch. All right. Then what are the permissions? I'm looking for dash permissions. All right. In the permission, I will be looking for a write access and an attribute or a modified access, which is known as, specified as A. All right. Then what am I doing? I'll be creating a key underscore name. So this key, I'll use the dash key to specify a key. It is based on this key that I will use this key to filter whatever modification that has been done on this file. Let's do a demo, right? So auditctl, I'm going to be watching my etc pass.wd. Now, what are the permissions? I'm looking for a write permission. I'm also looking for a modified permission, which is a space the key. The key name is, I can say, user underscore modify. Now hit enter. So what I have done so far, I have created a rule. That whenever this file is modified, please, auditctl should let me know. Auditing should let me know that there was a modification to this file. Now, so far, if we try to cut the log file, var log audit.log. Okay, let me grep for user underscore modify.
Let's grep for that guy now. So now it tells me that a rule was added a rule. Operation, a rule was added. By who? A rule was added. The type of the audit is a config change. Okay, this rule was created. So this is what we have in my auditor log that has to do with what? User underscore modify. Now let's create another terminal where we would create a user. So I'll open a concurrent terminal. So I'll go back to my stuff, my Linux server. So I'll open another terminal. So on this terminal, same server, guys, same server. So I'll sudo -i. So here now, I want to add a user. I'll say user add. User add, let me call it Frank. Frank was added. Now, how do I know? Now come to my machine. I want to check my modification, what has happened on my Linux server. All right. So I'll do my normal thing. I'll cut the log and grep and look for what? User modified rule. So now it's now populated. Let's see now. Now there was a system call. Now at this system call, what did happen? There was a call. This call was successful, and the call was performed by UID. UID 0 means you are root. Let's confirm. Now, how do we know? If I cut etc pass WD and grep for 0, if I grep for 0, I should see that the UID for the user that has that UID and GID of 0 is what? Is a root user. It means that someone somewhere used the root account to perform user add. Let's continue, guys. So this is it. Now the command that was executed was what? User add. That's the command, guys. Now this was the binary that was executed. User add, user sbin, user add, and the key is pointing towards modified, user modified. So it means that someone created a user on my what? Linux file system, and the user that did that was what? Was the root. Similarly, let's go back. Similarly, if I need to change the password, all right, I need to modify if the password was changed, if any user's password was changed. So this is what I will do. I'm also create a rule for user passwords. So I'll say audit CTL, watch where etc shadow. This is shadow file. Then the permission is what? Normal, right, and access. Then the key, I'll create a new key. The key will be what? Pass WD underscore modify. This rule has been created. Now, if I come here and grep for, already I was grepping. All right. So let me do my normal cut my log. So I'll look for pass WD modify. Pass WD modify. It tells me that this rule was what? Was added. Now let's try to change that user password, Frank password. So I'll say pass WD Frank 1212. Let's check what happened now. Now let's try to what? Grep. You see now. Let's check it now. There was a system call, and the command was successful. And who executed it is root that executed it. And the command was what? Pass WD that was used. And the binary was on user bin pass WD. It was captured by what? The key, the rule, the pass WD modify that I created. All right. So the rule that I created to monitor this file, any modification to this file must be monitored, must be captured. This is auditing. Now let's now make everything make sense. Let's now talk about everything that will make sense that we discuss here. Now I'm going to create a file. A random user is going to create a file. Let's say the Frank user. Let me exit. Let's now do a sudo su into Frank. Now this is the Frank user. All right. Now Frank created a file, pwd. Frank touched a file. Let's call it finance. There's a file called finance.csv. In this file, there's a lot of financial records. All right. Now I'm just going to give, I want to make it such that everybody have access to this file. Everybody have access to this file. Let me exit. Let me do sudo chmod assuming, I'm just giving you an assumption, but this kind of exposed permission is not welcomed. All right, it's not welcome. I'm just going to show something on Frank. All right, on Frank, and on Frank's directory. Okay, so it means that anybody now can access Frank home and can access this file as well, this finance file. Great. Now, this user, I want to monitor this file. I've created this file already. So what I want to do now, I want to monitor that file. So what I will do is I will do my auditctl. Then I will watch the file. I'm going to watch this file, home Frank finance. I'm going to watch the file. Permission will be what? My WA. Then I'm going to create a key. Then file underscore modify. I've created a rule to monitor this file, to monitor changes that will be made to this file. So anybody that make changes to this file, I'm going to hold that person. I'm going to catch that person, guy. So this is what we'll do now. So let's now watch cats varlog audit the log. Now let's grab for file underscore modify. So you can see this rule was added. Great. So now let's come back to this same system. Now let me create a user, sudo user add dinero. Okay. Now switch user to dinero. Sudo switch user towards dinero. Now dinero want to act smart by going into the file to modify the content of that file. So dinero change directly to home Frank. Now dinero is here. Dinero try to access the finance file. Now dinero now, what we have dinero salary. Let's do it like this. This is a column. This is salary, comma, okay, name, because it's a CSV file, name, comma, salary, all right, with other information. So name is dinero, then salary is 200,000. But now dinero open this file and say, this is not enough for me, because he has access to the file. He now added 10, making it what? 2 million. So it means that the company is going to be paying dinero 2 million per month. And that's what is there. We save and quit. So because we don't know, next month came, dinero was paid 2 million. And every month, dinero was being paid 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. But don't know what was happening. But someone now came that, no, this guy's salary is not really 2 million. His salary is 200. But I don't know what is happening. He decided to what? Call the services of auditors. The services of auditors. So the auditing team came and set up auditing on this file. They set up auditing on this file such that if there is any modification, any write into this file, we would know. Now, how do we know? Now, the auditing came, they've set up the system already, and they have come forward for auditing. So they want to check this file if anyone have written any content into this file. So they came up and they tried to what? They tried to cut this log and grab for what? File modify, the rule that is concerned with modifying the finance.csv file. And they check, wow, a lot has happened over the year, over the months. Now let's check. Let's look at the last one. There was a system call. And the UID is pointing to this guy. Wow. It's pointing to this guy. It was successful. Again, yeah, I saw no. Success, no. But let's look at the one that was successful. Let us look at this one that was successful, guys. Now, it is pointing to the same user ID. The same user ID, 1002. 1002. So what I will now do is, I will now cut etc pass.wd. I will grab forward the UID 1002. The moment I hit enter, I'll come to realize that, so it is dinero that has this user ID. It is matching with what we have from the audit log. right? So this UID is matching with what we have on UID. Oh my goodness. Then we will come to know that, yes, so Dinero has been the one modifying his salary. He has been the one modifying his salary. So you can see the usefulness of auditing your system. This is it, man. This is it. And this is the direction that Frank teaches DevOps is actually transitioning into DevSecOps. I hope you've enjoyed this session, guys. And I love to see you in our next episode. Thank you and have a wonderful Wednesday.
All right, guys, so you can now see that we have successfully audited our system, and we have caught a user. We've caught the Dinero user who over the years or over the month has been tampering, has been modifying, touching, fingering the file, the financial file. All right, so this is how we perform system auditing. All right, this is the first call to performing system auditing, and I would love to see you guys in our next episode. So keep a tab on Frank Teaches DevOps, because we will be enrolling, we will be enrolling vital things, important things that's going to change lives. Come 2024, Frank Teaches DevOps is transitioning into DevSecOps. DevSecOps, guys. DevSecOps. Don't change the die. Just keep a tab on Frank Teaches DevOps. Keep following, keep loving, and keep sharing. Peace out.